Okay, so my name is Grant Holmes. I'm the Vice President of Inchcape Shipping Services. We are the oldest and largest agent in the world. We were established in 1847. We, we have a network for the cruise industry with 70 countries of our own offices, plus another 55 countries where I have exclusivity with exclusive business partners. So that gives me a network of 125 countries and 1,250 ports. So in short, we cover every cruise port on the planet, more or less. And those that are not exclusive, there are very few places like St. Helena and a few others around South Pacific, we also cover through sub-agents. Well, that's a little bit nuanced because we actually are engaged with more activities than most port agencies. So our core business is we are a port agent, and a port agent organizes all the planning for the cruise lines from a technical perspective to come into the port. We will check the draft, the pier, the berth. We will book the berth, and we will coordinate all those technical activities. There may be an air draft consideration, and then you have customs, immigration, logistics. The cruise line may want to send provisions, so we would have to coordinate that as well. So that's the core business of a port agency. But we also do ground handling, where we support the cruise line to do the check-in, the meet and greet at the airport, and so forth. And additionally, we are launching a global crew logistics service where we meet and greet the crew at the airport and go through the customs and immigration formality in the port and onboard them. And we have onboarders and off-signers. And we do that service. And through all shipping, including cruise, it's about 150,000 crew per year we're doing on that ratio. Then additionally, a new project of mine, and it's because of my history, we are introducing shore excursions into our portfolio of services. And in the shore excursions, at the moment, we're offering this in 12 countries, Middle East and the EMEA region, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. But by the end of the year, it will be 50. And then we will grow, and we have a pipeline. And for CLIA, I wrote the shore excursion chapter for the CLIA book, and as I have a history of organizing shore excursions. Additionally, another service we're doing is we consult countries to develop cruise tourism strategies and economic impact studies, and from A to Z, how we can develop a destination to make it conducive to receiving cruise ship calls. And we create the right conditions for cruise to flourish. Good for the cruise line, but also good for the community. And we make them sustainable. So at the moment, we have live 8 countries. For example, the country of Oman, Mauritius, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Seychelles, Madagascar, Comoros, Mayotte, Reunion Island. And these are a few, but we have many more. And we have 44 in the pipeline. Our greatest achievement is Qatar. We developed the port of Qatar, consulted them, and we supported the World Cup. They had only 2 or 3 calls when we started. Now it's 100 to 140. Now there's a grand cruise terminal, and we had 36 ships during the World Cup. And we managed all those vessels. That was cruise ships and recipients. So consultancy is important because we build the market in that way. And we focus on emerging markets, most of which are not here at CLIA. But we're starting to bring them. We just signed with Ghana, and we have a big focus on West Africa now. So, and we have 9 countries for short excursions in West Africa already. So, and then we have additional services that's unknown to the markets. We're just launching it now. We've made a global partnership with VFS Global. And VFS Global are the world's largest visa processing company. They have 3,500 offices globally, and they have exclusivity with 70 countries. They're the last mile of processing a visa. So we have together collaborated to make a B2I solution, business to industry. And we're supporting CLIA to make that happen. So VFS Global had the capability to organize any visa from anywhere to anywhere for passengers, but also for crew. So we're also helping with the crew, and this includes the whole of Europe, where they have exclusivity except Spain, US, UK, China, India, Indonesia, and Philippines. So all of the countries with the source markets for the crew. So this project is just launching now, and we're already heavily engaged with cruise lines to sign contracts to help them for their passengers and their crew. And the third element of it is we'll be providing special security checks for the crew members. Most of criminal activity in the world is covered. Most of the checks at the moment are covered by CRB checks, which is criminal background checks. If a crew member wants to be recruited, they have to go through CRB. But CRB only covers roughly 20% of criminal activity. So it's really not worth the paper it's written on. Yet you pay a lot of money for it, but it's not really, it's only giving you what has been recorded, those that are prosecuted. So if you're involved in criminal activity, but you're not caught, you will not come up. But on our list, you will. And it's integrated to Interpol and all the watch lists of the world, as well as the social media and the dark web. And it will scan in 5 seconds any face and say what criminal activity that person's involved. So it's a revolutionary, and we can be sure with these checks that there will be no pedophiles working in children's clubs. There will be no money launderers as chief pursers, and there will be no drugs with security, because those are the normal patterns of the behavior. Normally, every 4,000 checks, you will find one. So it's not a high number, but one could destroy the industry. One terrorism event would destroy our entire industry. When we now have the technology to be cast iron 100% sure that that person's not been involved in criminal activity. So those checks are pretty revolutionary. So as you see, that there is a huge portfolio of services. Another service we do is for cruise lines planning world cruises or long cruises. We have CIM, Cruise Itinerary Management. And I have a dedicated team in India that support the cruise line with a software and a dashboard and all the costings of each country to help manage the itineraries. And we link that with the consultancy we do and our networks. So we put all of that together. We also own World of Ports. World of Ports is the world's largest platform with all the data of ports inside, including environmental data, AIS tracking, tracking of your fleet of ships, where they are. We can track back for 3 months. And this has 7,500 ports, and every single berth is geofenced in the world. Now, the cruise is not using that much, and we built this platform for our oil majors, the cargo majors, but now we're putting a cruise element to it. So you can see that there is a lot of activity, and we're mainly a port agent, but we have a big portfolio of services. Well, I've been there I've been 10 years in Inchcape, and I've been in the cruise industry since 1999. And I've always looked at CLIA as the voice of the industry. And I live in Dubai, and every time CLIA wants something from Dubai, they normally call me, or they want something in India because I'm on the high-level advisory committee of India, or anywhere in the Indian Ocean or Middle East or Southeast Asia now, and Africa, because we're doing a lot in Africa. So I'm supporting CLIA with information, and I think that the role of CLIA is very important. So I see this as a gathering of industry professionals, and because of our wide scope of services that we offer, I get to meet people from different types of businesses, which ordinarily I wouldn't meet. If I go to another trade event, like a sea trade, I tend to be too concentrated on the port agency side or the shore excursion side, when my business is much wider than that now. When all the different portfolio services that I explained, they're so wide. So CLIA is, I found, very supportive, because you engage with governments. I engage with governments. I'm engaging with 44 in a very strong way, but they're all on different trajectories of closing. But all my governments are different to your governments. You're mostly dealing with European, American, and those main source markets of the cruise industry, whereas mine is in emerging markets and supporting those governments to prepare for cruise tourism in the right way. So there's a natural synergy between us. And I spoke to Nikos, and Nikos persuaded me to be a Diamond member again. We used to be before COVID, and we took up the challenge. And we're there to support CLIA, and at the same time, provide information. But CLIA has been a great platform for us to engage with people from different perspectives of the cruise industry. So for me, it's wonderful, to have so many meetings in one place, with less pressure than you would have in a sea trade event.
Well, I think you